So tonight we're talking about the Toxic Crusaders, which is the 1990-1991 Toxic Avenger cartoon show, which officially debuted in January of 1991, although it had a trial run in the summer of 1990, which I actually watched. I remember it. It would air like every day, I think in the morning in the Fox channel I watched, but whatever. Toxic Crusaders takes the R-rated Toxic Avenger movie series and transforms it into a cartoon show for the kiddos. This was a thing at the time where people take R-rated properties like RoboCop and Police Academy were two of them. Alien was being sold to kids. Rambo had a cartoon show. It was actually pretty common, but this cartoon kind of combines like four different things and makes them into a cartoon. One, it is taking an R-rated property and turning it into a cartoon. Second, it's very environmentally friendly. It's very pro-environment. The entire time, it's very pro-environment. So like Captain Planet, they basically took the people who made the Ninja Turtles and turned that into a cartoon and a huge licensing property. Also, the gross out thing was big. And they actually made the toys to literally look like the Playmates toys. Like, they look very similar. And a bunch of people brought this up, but if you look at the Playmates toys, the Ninja Turtles toys, next to the Playmates toys of the Toxic Crusaders, they look almost identical. And like many people always make this joke that like, grandma bought the wrong one, but maybe that kid wouldn't notice because it can go exactly with the other ones. This was very much like they took a cult, weird, gruesome franchise and transformed it into a Ninja Turtles ripoff. Of all the Ninja Turtles ripoffs, this might be one of my favorites. I might like this more than Street Sharks or Biker Mice from Mars or any of the other ones, just because it's so weird. It gets to be gross out, it gets to be pro-environment, it does so many things, but it actually does a pretty good job and is actually fairly meta. When I was watching it, I noticed it does this thing where like the villain at the beginning of the episode, I watched a couple episodes, I didn't just watch one, at the beginning of the episode would basically tell Mr. Dr. Killamoff how is like, unless the Toxic Crusaders came in and did this, and he goes, why do you always say that? And then it would happen. And it's like, I love the kind of like Mad Magazine Looney Tunes thing of like, let me check the script, or like I think in one part he says like, why don't we do that? And then they go no, that's just that we'll see in Act 2. Like they constantly do this kind of thing, which I found kind of interesting. It's a little more meta than the Ninja Turtles, or at least my memory of the Ninja Turtles. Me TV Tunes, you should get on this. The first episode was actually written by Chuck Lorre, who would go on to who did the Ninja Turtles theme song, a lot of cartoon theme songs, and did this theme song for this show, which goes Toxic Crusaders, and is very catchy. He would also then go on to create Two and a Half Men and The Big Bang Theory. He became a huge like sitcom guy after this. But the Toxic Crusaders, basically you learn the origin of Toxie, him becoming the Toxic Avenger. He has another one, it's like Major Disaster, I don't know, one's a plant guy, one guy's got a big nose, there's another guy that's two people. They keep adding people, and he has a girlfriend who plays the accordion, who seems to be a little clueless but also seems to know what's going on. This is a wild show. I've watched a lot of like 80s, 90s cartoon shows and revisited them, and this is the one I'm like, what was going on here and how did this happen? They're only about one season, and they did get a video game, and the AVGN reviewed it, and Lee Kaufman showed up for that. There was a board game, there was a lunchbox, there was action figures. They mass marketed a crazy cult gruesome movie and turned it into a cartoon show. But to be honest with you, in the reaction to the Ninja Turtles and like, what do we do next? What are we going to do? What are we going to come up with? What are we going to come up with to counter Ninja Turtles? This is like a decent idea to counter it. You know what I mean? It's like so out there. And Ninja Turtles, when it came out, the part of the joke, and people forget that when I was a kid, is bringing up that part of the joke in Ninja Turtles was just saying the name. You know what I mean? And how weird and crazy it was. And this is like a similar vein to how it was portrayed. So I actually, this was my introduction to the Toxic Avenger. I was sort of aware of it. It was a property and stuff, but I was a kid. But I did kind of like the show. I never had any of the toys. Now I'm like, I kind of would like to almost. But this was actually a lot of fun. I'd actually recommend it, but it is just one of those things you're like, did this really happen? And in my mind, there was like this guy who was a punk and saw the original Toxic Avenger and thought it was really cool, and then, had kids and sat down with them one Saturday morning and saw this show and saw that they made lunchboxes of it and was utterly confused on what happened to society. I guarantee you there was somebody, and whoever that was, I understand your confusion, but part of that guy's confusion is what made this cartoon so memorable and so much fun.